Welcome to the Maryland PTAC podcast, Assist and Win, where we showcase client success stories and feature procurement experts to help small business owners. I'm your host, Yasmin Razak, and I'm the Marketing and Training Coordinator here at the PTAC. Today's guest is Akiesha Foster, a PTAC procurement specialist who is working towards becoming a VA certified counselor. Akiesha joined the PTAC in 2020 and she's based in the College Park office. She's an experienced senior contract specialist with over 19 years in logistics and contracting, and the assignment includes working for the Mission Installation Contracting Command, Defense Information Systems Agency, and is currently serving as a Sergeant Major for Army Material Command Army Reserve Element. Akiesha is also a small business owner of KeyToLife Professional Services LLC, which is a boutique consulting company. Thank you for joining us today, Akiesha, and thank you for your service to the country.
Thank you, Yasmin. It is a great honor and pleasure to be here and working at the Maryland PTAC. It has been a roller coaster ride, just getting to learn all the small businesses and just being able to put my expertise into use to help these small businesses to navigate the marketplace.
Well, we are certainly glad to have you on board. You are a breath of fresh air. You are always really enthusiastic about working with our clients and just a delight to work with. So I'm glad you joined our team. So on this conversation, I'd just like to learn a little bit more about you, Keisha, your background, how you came to be in the PTAC, and what you think is important for government contractors to know to be successful. So let's get started with, can you tell us a little bit about your career background and the journey that brought you to becoming a PTAC counselor?
Yes, February made 20 years in the military. So I am so happy for that. So that is part of my journey. So half of my career was on active duty, where I was logistics, supply NCO. And then the other half of my military service has been in the Army Reserve as a 51 Charlie, a contract specialist, which is in the civilian sector, 1102. And so what made me make the transition into the Army Reserve was my children had entered into high school. And I was like, oh my goodness, I can't move them again. And then my husband had got his, a good job. And I was like, but I didn't want to get out of the military. So then I went to my retention recruiter and I was like, oh my goodness, I can't get out. But it was like, just go in Army Reserve. We have the 51 Charlie new MOS and you'll be great for it, because I was already doing procurement. As a supply NCO, I was buying signal equipment. I was buying paper, supplies, putting the orders. So it was a great fit for me. So it allowed me to stay in the military, as well as my children to stay rooted, and my husband to stay rooted as well. So that's what made me change my career. And I had assignments like the Mission Installation Contracting Command, that was at Fort Meade, Maryland. And then I worked at Defense Information Systems Agency, that's DISA. And I really enjoyed my time there. And then, being the battalion sergeant major for the 915 Contracting Command, which we deployed overseas to help with the shutdown as we were leaving out of Iraq. And so I was over there in 2020 as well. And so these assignments, I fully believe, have given me the leadership skills, the interpersonal skills, the management skills to help small business participating in the government marketplace, because transitioning from the commercial sector to the government sector, which is the public sector, is a different beast. And through all that, I had to get that bachelor's degree and that master's degree, which is, I have a master's degree at in procurement acquisition management from Webster University. And the last thing with this career background is I had to be level 3 certified in contracting, being a contracting officer and having to, account for the government money spent and stuff. It was really good that I learned the different processes and went to school and got the certifications. And then because I wanted to really understand proposal, I became a member of the Association of Proposal Management and Professionals, APMP, to really, teach small business how to respond to these bid and proposals or sources sought or requests for information.
Okay, wow. I mean, that is fascinating. The fact that not only are you out there being deployed, defending your country, you're also learning so much about keeping the military supplied with what they need. And that is able to translate into non-military sector, which, I'm sure has helped you a lot along the way with developing your career. Were there times when you were in active duty or even just in the reserves when you, you thought that I want to step out and do something else, or is this just your love for what you do?
Well, I believe the reason why I did, because transitioning from active duty, doing that 365 days, 24 hours, 7 days a week, to Army Reserve gave me that flexibility to be able to have a civilian career, just going in one weekend and out of the month, or 2 weekends out of the year. Or sometimes I had to do my battle assemblies where I had to do command visits to different organizations and my different teams out on different FOBs, or different states or anything like that. So it always kept me from getting tired or complacent because I was always moving or on the go. So you don't have time to you just be like, oh, I'm so happy for this rest. I'm good. So that was some of the good things I learned too, as being in there. And why is it important to me to assist these small business in the government marketplace? Because as a contracting officer, I had the opportunity to review all these bid and proposals, and so many will come in non-responsive or not compliant because they didn't have the education or the training they needed to send in a compliant and responsive bid, or the pricing was so low that they couldn't understand the requirement. And I've had to terminate contracts. And then as a small business owner, I understood the importance of having mentors to help navigate the government marketplace, because it can be very difficult and complex with those regulations, because we, as contracting officers, are in charge of making sure we take care of taxpayers' money. So that's why all the bureaucracies and the regulations and the policies, and people don't understand. When I had an assignment at USARC, the United States Army Reserve Command, I learned about that area of policy. The reason why we have some of these policies, because of the stewardship we have to account for the monies. We have to account for the services. So much we have to account for when we're obligating the government's money. And that's, basically the taxpayers' money.
Okay, well, thank you for taking that so seriously. Unfortunately, you often hear stories in the press where, that is not taken seriously and it leads to fraud. So that's important for you to talk about, doing it the right way, and mentoring businesses as well, so they can pick up good habits. Now, I know that you have a particular interest in assisting veterans, and you are actively working towards your VA certification. Why do you want to specialize in this area, and how do you think you can help veteran business owners?
Well, the reason why I feel like, because I'm working towards my VA certification, is to help veterans, because I am a veteran. And, sometimes veterans, we have a way of thinking, you know, sometimes, and we've been in the military so long, we've used to a certain kind of structure, a certain kind of way of doing businesses. We're used to making it happen. You know, your commander or your CO tells you to go do something, you just go, okay, roger that, sir, I'm going to go make it happen. And so most times when veterans coming out and transitioning, they want to start their business, but they don't know how. And then sometimes when they're trying to articulate this to our civilian counselors, sometimes, you know, sometimes things get lost or misunderstood because of the way we're used to doing things. And because I have that background and because I know the importance of the veteran transitioning and receiving that support, it was very near and dear to my heart to become a VA certified representative so I can continue to grow our community and help our small business with their transitioning.
Well, that's great. And I know that the veterans in the Maryland business community will welcome that expertise. So we look forward to when you qualify to be certified, which I'm sure will be too much longer. Okay, so why do you think it's important for business owners to come to the PTAC for help whilst they're trying to become government contractors?
Well, I believe it is important for these small businesses to come to the Maryland PTAC because number one, it's a program that was designed for small and large businesses to come and receive assistance with all things procurement. You know, we've enacted all these different programs, so let's utilize the programs so we don't lose the programs. And two, I believe it minimizes the frustration of learning how to do business with these different local, state, and federal agencies, because each county does it different. Each educational organization does it different. Each state does it different. And then you have the federal. Those are a lot of different organizations with a lot of different regulations and rules. And we've been there, we've done it, we've experienced those things, we've worked in those states. And that's why this program was put together to help small businesses with these challenges. And then we know they're brand new startups, so they don't have that capital to invest in consultants that's going to charge them, you know, a pretty penny. So that's why we have this program out here, this training, these workshops, these events to give them that competitive advantage they need to enter the marketplace. Because Boeing, if you're trying to work with Boeing or SAIC or BAE or any of those organizations, you're going to need to know how to navigate. You're going to need to know how to go present your company to them and your capabilities and your services.
And finally, Keisha, what is one piece of advice you would give to businesses about succeeding in the government contracting world?
Well, one piece of advice I would definitely want to give small businesses to never quit. And this is a long game. So you're going to have to learn how to persevere, because from my perspective, being a soldier, a contracting officer, and a small business owner, and have been a sub, I come from both, from all those different lenses. And I know that if you just put the time in, do the market research, utilize the resources out there that are for you, like our Small Business Development Center, our Maryland PTAC, all these different organizations and these different resources available for small businesses. It will help you to grow your business, to stay profitable, because small business spur our economy. You know, our business is made of small businesses, and then they grow to large business and so forth and so on. So I would definitely recommend to be in the long game, because as I like to say, James Allen Lane would say, adversity does not build character, it reveals it. And that's all I have.
Well, that's a great way to end this conversation. Thank you so much for doing this today, and we wish you continued success, Akiesha.
Thank you so much, Yasmin. It was a pleasure being here.